Okay, we're going for the fourth try this morning on this video to see if it's going to freeze or not. I changed the plug and it seems to have done what it's supposed to do, so we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, I started out by talking about Israel. Israel is basically committing the genocide that Trump's wanted, to kick everybody out so that he can convert it into a resort for the rich and famous. All the poor people that are there and the people that are struggling and whatnot, they don't count. You know, so I got a bad feeling about what's going to happen there, but there's nothing much I can do about it. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now, the next thing up is Trump selling out the Ukraine. He had a conversation with him and the President Zelensky and Putin yesterday, and apparently they Zelensky has to make some sort of concessions and give up some land, and I don't think he's going to do that. I hope he doesn't do that. I hope he sticks for his guns. I hope that they just kick the shit out of Russia, but I don't know what's going to happen there. And the other part of that, of course, is Putin. Yeah, well, let's go on Putin for now. He showed that how much he doesn't need Trump. Trump is not necessary to his existence, to his plans, to the peace talks or anything else. And I think that should upset Donald more than anything else. You know, so but we'll have to wait and see. Again, this is something we have to wait and see how it plays out. I don't. I've always thought that. Why would he need them? I mean, he can go out and make friends with China and screw the United States to the wall. But because of ideological differences, he doesn't think that Trump doesn't think that's going to happen. I have no idea. I'm not a prognosticator. I am just simply a reader of articles. But the fact that Trump is just running around, in the fact that when they got Zelensky, even Europe got Zelensky to show up and everything like that, and Putin just says, "I'm not going. I'll talk to Trump on the phone." And let me tell you something. When it comes to negotiating on the phone, Trump doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He hasn't got a clue. They are 10 times better at that than the United States is. Telephone conversations. And we invented the telephone, but we didn't invent negotiations. I'm not sure who did it. Cavemen invented negotiation, I think. Neanderthals. That's how long it's been going on. And the problem is that we're not negotiating from strength. We have no strength where Russia is concerned. Put all the tariffs in the world on China. Russia doesn't care. You know? That's the problem. You know, you can't hurt Russia, because Russia doesn't care. They don't care about their people. They don't care about anything except power and land grab. You know, they're trying to get what they want are the precious metals that Ukraine has, because China is the other big precious metal country in the world. They're the biggest, and those things are needed for AI, computers, telephones, TVs, everything. Those metals. I'm not all sure exactly what they all are, but you know, you can look it up and get a list for yourself. You don't need me to do that for you. So that's why there's no need for us anymore in the world. And the thing is that Trump's never talked strongly to Putin. Putin knows Trump's a moron. Putin knows what Trump wants glory, power, wants people to respect him, which is not going to happen. It's just not a possibility, But we'll see what happens there. Now, the next big issue is the national debt. Now, this is a businessman, supposedly. But you can understand, if you watch his business practices, I'm speaking of Trump now, why he bankrupted six casinos. I only know of 2 casinos that he bankrupted and a whole bunch of other businesses that he bankrupted. So, got something in my eye. 1 second. Okay. You're supposed to edit this stuff out, when you get something in your eye or something like that. But I hate it when I watch a screen of one of these guys and it jumps because I figure they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. But you don't, try to balance a budget or anything like that. You he just goes out and increases the national debt. That debt is sold to other countries. Now, they can call in that debt, and that just probably means Trump will send troops to go to war or something like that, because we can't pay it. There's no way we can pay it tomorrow morning. If they came up to us and said, hey, screw this, we want our money now, it's not going to happen. He's driving the economy to an area where he's going to bankrupt the United States. And then he'll come in and try to save it with Bitcoin or something like that, He'll come up with some wild scheme that only benefits him. Because, he doesn't get hurt in bankruptcies. And if he could bankrupt the United States 6 times and he wouldn't lose a dime. That's the part of the problem. That's where everybody's looking at, I don't know whether that's a viable solution to the problem or not. I just know that that's what happens. You can't go on and you can't go out there and keep spending and spending and spending. You try it. I've tried it. I went bankrupt twice because of that. All right, I'll just get into the car or something and I'll start paying the stuff off. It doesn't work that way. We got a debt. We have to take care of it. Somehow or another we have to get it down. And his way of getting it down is taking those things that are precious to Americans, like Social Security and everything else, and throwing them in the gutter and gutting them completely while he gives big tax breaks to rich people, thinking that's going to happen. That's going to help. That's what Reagan did. That's what when they developed the trickle-down economy theory, and the only thing that trickles down is dust and problems and debt. I think what's made this country great in the business world and whatnot are the little people, not just the major corporations, but the small ones. The guy that's selling $200,000-$300,000 a year in artwork or something like that, his own artwork on the internet, and he's selling it all, and he's paying his taxes. Those are the people that are supporting this country, not the billionaires who are using the labor of America to make billions and aren't paying their fair share of taxes. Now, something similar to this was the situation that brought about the American Revolution and the separation that America separated from the English, American colonies said, screw you, George, we're not doing this anymore. We ain't paying you dick. You can't tax us. And the thing about that was it really didn't hurt England, at that time. today would hurt England. The world situation is different because we've become dependent upon each other. Which is another thing Trump doesn't understand. He thinks everybody's dependent upon him, and that America's not dependent upon anybody. And that's going to change. That he's going to get a rude awakening before his 4 years are up, assuming that he makes it through all 4 years without being impeached or some other disaster happening to him. There are people that say his health is so bad there's no way he can make it 2 years. I haven't seen signs of ill health, mental deterioration. He's always been crazy, so it's very difficult to say he's worse or he's not, So that's part of the deal there. But you don't go around to solve your financial problems. You don't increase the debt. That's not solving your financial problems. That's putting that debt off for another administration or later down the road, And I think that they believe that they'll lose the next election and the Democrats will come in and the Democrats will be saddled with this debt that they cannot deal with. And that's going to create the problem. And that's how he thinks he's going to be able to walk away and say he's a star. That's what he does all the time. He makes his problems somebody else's responsibility, and that's how he goes along and doesn't pay for his crimes and doesn't pay his debts or anything like that because it's not his responsibility. It's somebody else. He turns it into being somebody else's responsibility, and they get screwed. And that happened when he closed the casinos. It's happened when he's bankrupted businesses. It's not his fault. It's not my fault. Of course it's your fault, you dumb bastard. Alright, next up and final issue of the day is that Trump's at war with two billionaire celebrities, which I'm sure that nobody really cares about. I don't really care about it, but it makes interesting reading. Bruce Springsteen, and I've said this before, and Trump said it too. He said, why did he wait to go to Europe before he opened his mouth up? And started complaining about all the stuff he's doing and telling him and calling him a moron and everything like that and saying that, that the United States is in the hands of a moron. Of course, we knew that before he left the country, but, I don't understand why he waited till then. And Taylor Swift, she's never liked Trump. She's never supported Trump. Going back to 2016, maybe she hasn't been as vocal about her feelings towards Trump until lately, but to the last election when she supported Kamala Harris. But that doesn't mean, she doesn't care about it. She doesn't like Donald Trump. Donald Trump now says she's, a lot of things, none of them nice. She's called Bruce an idiot, a moron, the same things that Bruce is calling him. And, in the old days, if these were high school days, which is where they're acting, you said, let's go out in the parking lot, let's go out in the schoolyard and talk about this, let's settle it out there, let's go down the block and let's settle this thing once and for all, you dipshit. All right. So, I don't understand, I don't understand why Bruce waited till he was overseas before he made the comments, but, that's... I don't know. Maybe he feels this is his last chance. Maybe this is his last tour. I don't know. You'd have to address him on that. Okay, that's it. Go to the bottom. There should be, I hope, I will try to check it again today, a subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button if it's there. Please comment if you can. I need to know that there's people out there, that I'm not talking to a blank TV screen all the time, That's all it's going to do. It doesn't cost you a dime. It just gives me moral support to keep on yelling and screaming and making no sense here. Whoops. You just saw out of the corner of your eye, that was Lucy coming in to lay down on her bed. Let's see if we can get her in the picture before we leave. There she is, all curled up in her little bed. That's one of two she has. It's the one that's in this room because I didn't like her laying on this floor. This floor is kind of laying on the floor is kind of bad for the bones in a dog. Bad for the bones in me too. So anyhow, that was it. Sorry for all the delays this morning. I don't know what happened. Everything's working perfectly now, and I have no reason to figure out why. So anyhow, I will talk to you tomorrow.